Hello everyone, this is Zach again. Today I have a game review on a game I didn't play. I saw it on the AGA website. It was on an SGF file commented on by a 7Dan professional named, I think it's Yuhan Zhu or something. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. He lives in the US and he has his own Go school and stuff. And these two players, who names aren't given, are part of his Go school. One, which was Black, is an 8Q, and White was his 7Q. And the reason I chose this game was because I felt that Black played quite nicely, and especially above his level. And it had some aspects in the game I think that would help you in your play, and I found it pretty interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you now. Excuse my voice, by the way, I'm a little bit sick. Anyways, so like I said, the 8Q is Black, and they don't give his name. He starts out right here. White responds. And Black takes the double 3-4 points. Which was very common in older Go because it was very territorial based, especially since White, there wasn't really as much of a Komi, which is like the points White get at the very beginning of the game. So it's more popular to do something like this now because it's a balance between influence and territory, especially since influence is kind of more prominent nowadays because especially because how much Komi White has. It's like 6.5 points that he starts out with. Or some AGA I think uses 7.5. But anyways, he does this, which is fine. Still played today. White takes Star, and Black does Orthodox. If you know anything about the Orthodox Guseki, you know that it's basically just an enclosure with another stone around this area. It can be here, 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 you know, just in this star point area, the most common of which are just the regular Hoshi and 3-4. So White has a few different options. He can approach one of two ways, or he can split. Playing elsewhere isn't really advised because if Black gets a stone around this area, all his stones are going to be working together, and which is really what Black wanted in the first place, was to play here. As you know, when you have this enclosure, you want to build off of it and make some type of bowl shape like this, so you're starting to gain something in this area. But especially with this stone over here, now he's gaining something not only in this area, but this area as well. So this is very nice for Black. So usually it's best for White to split or approach. And it's not right to split here in this case, because if Black approaches this stone this way, attacks it, and White responds with a 2-space extension, then Black can just enclose his corner while attacking these two stones, which is very nice for Black because this is basically all of his points, and White's still under attack. And Black still has a follow-up here if White does jump out. So now Black is gaining a lot everywhere. So also if White wants to approach, then Black can just pincer, and then these two stones will be separated, and it'll be very dangerous and hard for White. You see this split right here when there's a Hoshi point, because then Black can do this 2-space extension, because now this isn't all of his territory. And so if White jumps out, Black still kind of needs to defend. Or, it's more common to do this though. I won't go into the variation. If you, it's pretty common variation for the Orthodox Guseki. But anyways, so you want to split here. playing high isn't really advisable because now black can't attack your base, and now you're getting undercut. So this is basically undercut, so your base is getting taken away. So in the game though, white approached, which is common, and black went ahead and attached. And they played out a very common opening. Now here, white should play right here, because of black's strength right here. What white did in the game though is he played high. Now, black can go ahead and try to undercut him again. The usual follow-up for this is to go up like this. But now it's not quite as dangerous for black, and I'm not even sure if he has to respond because of this stone right here. Because he doesn't really need to respond right here. If he wanted to, he could respond right here. And now he has a very strong shape. But white is working towards the center, and he really doesn't have any development in the center. His two stones are way over here. So this wouldn't be nice for white at the very beginning of the game. He's very uncertain what he's going to do with this influence. So if he tried to do something like this, he would just be strengthening black, and all of this would be becoming his territory just for the sake of a base that still has an evasion point. It can also be pressed down. So it's better for white to play here, because then if black plays here, he's not getting threatened by the undercut, and he can simply jump out. But white played here, and black did not play this, which he should have done, because it's basically Sente, because the next move he can try to split or undercut to try to get rid of his base. I think split is more severe, because he has a connection here and he can also jump out, or jump out here. So white's in trouble right here. So anyways, black went ahead and approached, which is fine to approach, but this is more urgent over here. And then white did a double space pincer, which is nice because it works together with these stones. Also, because it's high, it can possibly work together with these also. Then black right now attached, just to settle himself right away, because if he jumps out or something, then he might not be able to settle. So I think as black, any other variation, as far as I know, black doesn't really settle right away. So the null variation is just for white and black to do this, and black can jump out now. I mean, white can jump out now, and black is very small, so I personally don't really like this. This is why it's not played a lot. He is settled, but he's very small. He's also not going to be dead, but white has ways to try to get rid of his eye space later. So it's nice if you just want to settle, but I don't really like this because of the fact you're not making very many points and you're very small. Anyways, so in the game though, white played here, which is a really big mistake, because now black disconnects, and white needs to follow up to connect with this group, and now black is getting many more points than he had before. White's not going to have really any opportunities for trying to get rid of and attacking black's base later. Also, he's building up influence by doing this, and he's not going to have Sente. Now black can just Hane up, which white has to respond to, or black's going to get out. And this was one of the first moves that really surprised me that black did, because a lot of times around these ranks I see this move a lot, which is not correct, because for one thing, you're sealing up your opponent, so he's very strong outside, and you're also pushing from behind. So you're getting some points on the bottom, but white is getting a lot of strength and influence, and you're just getting some points down here, and you can't really even develop very well outside. If it went something like this, really the only way you could develop is somehow to jump out later, but then this stone, especially here, it's going to be hard to develop on the side, and white is really gaining a lot in the center, a lot of strength to invade or attack or gain points or whatever. But black did not play this way. So here, instead he connected, which was very nice. And then white needs to connect or black will cut, and then white will be in trouble. So white connects, and now black should take the opportunity to make it so white can't get a good extension off the stones. He shouldn't play too close though, because white is very strong, so white will be able to counter pincer, and then the stone would be in trouble. So about this far is fine, and now if white wants to extend off of it, it's only a 2-space extension off of a very strong wall, which is not very nice for white. So black does not do this though. Again, he approaches the stone, which of course isn't bad, but there still is more urgent part of the board. 2 urgent parts now actually. So white goes ahead and backs off high, and in case you want to know, backing off high and backing off low, really the only difference is backing off high gives you more towards the center, and it leaves this weakness right here later for black. I mean for white. Black can play here. But since white is pretty strong around this area, and he kind of has this move in Sente, it would be very hard for black to try to invade here. So backing off high is a good idea. Then black played here, which was another move that kind of surprised me that black knew to play here instead of here. Because when you have this enclosure, and this stone is pointing toward this side, you would never want to play right here because it's playing too close to your strength. So playing here is better because white trying to invade is very hard, especially since you're strong here and you have stones in this area. So this way, it gets rid of the weakness that black would have right here. And it makes it hard for white to invade in this area, which is very nice. And then white went ahead and tried to extend from his base. But I would say this is a little bit of an overextension, because what black did in the game, which I think was correct, was he went ahead and invaded right away. Which is correct. If black really did anything else, like split, then white can jump out, or he can go back, and now if he jumps out, it's going to be very hard for black to invade in this area now, because he's strong here and he has some strength here. If he just goes back, then he has a lot of points in this area. There's no way black's going to be able to invade now. So invading is really the only option, and it's definitely the best option also. And here I think white should have tried to attack this stone and try to cover it, or something like this, because then at least he's gaining something towards the center. I haven't completely read this out, but something like this maybe, or black might want to do this first. Anyways, I think he should have tried to cover him and get something in the center, because he's really not going to be able to kill these 2 stones. But instead he just jumps out, and now black has a few options. He can connect under, or he can jump out, or he can go ahead and make a base. I think the best option is to make a base, which is what he did, because now you're getting rid of any extension off of this. Possibly you can attack it later, well, it's kind of unlikely. You're still leaving the option of jumping out and connecting under, and you're also making some points in here. So it's a very nice choice. The next move for white was very strange. He pawnied right here. I think this was because he was worried about this, because this is Sente for black. But even if he does this, now black is having a problem that he kind of needs to make this move. And now white has Sente to try to go over him, and black's going to have problems trying to, or he could even do this first to try to prevent the cut under, then black would jump out. But anyways, black's having a problem with eyes, or enough eye space. So white playing here I don't think was needed, so he went ahead and did this exchange, and then black jumped out. So now there's really no way for white to try to really attack this group. It's pretty much completely solidified. He still has the connection under also. So now these two stones are getting a little bit uncomfortable because black has a way to cut them off. So he goes ahead and tries to strengthen them while surrounding this group. And this is another nice move for black, because very commonly we just do this. But if black did this, then he would start to get enclosed again, and white would get something around this area. But what he did was this move, which is very nice because it has a nice follow-up later right here to get rid of anything here. And really white can't cover him up with this one move like before he could. So now white does something that's very common among Q players, or mid or lesser Q players, is pushing here. Something like this you almost never want to do unless you're going to cut, because it gets rid of the Aji. It just solidifies black. You never want to do this unless you can cut right here, which in this case, as far as I know, white can't really, because black can just do this and then connect. I don't see any way for white to escape this. So just pushing like this, it just strengthens black. So you never want to do that unless you can cut it. Because later, white has pieces right here to try to cut it. Maybe here first and then here. Has lots of more Aji in this area. Just making this move just gets rid of that Aji. Next move, white jumps out to try to create something in this area while surrounding black, and black goes ahead and tries to make sure he's completely settled in this area, get rid of Aji of like peeps right here. And the next move for black is this one. Oh, I'm sorry. Which is his approach high. Like we said before, I said this was a good move, but now, since if you look at where white is trying to develop on the board, it's in this area and on the left hand side. Left hand side he's almost completely developed. Really the only move he needs is some type of move around here, and then he's pretty much good. The center is the part that's more open, and white wants to develop more. So if black did this, white now could just go ahead and go over, and then he would start to gain something in this area. You could even push down and try to gain something in all this area right in here. So it would be a mistake for black right here to attack from this point, especially since it's undercut. And this move isn't as lethal now because white has more strength towards the center. So this high approach is nice because now white can't do anything like this. And it focuses more on the center, which is the most important part of the board right now. So the next move for white was very strange. He invaded right here, which is wrong because, as we should know, when we're attacking a base, we want to have a nice follow-up. So when we attack a base, usually we want to undercut it. So when you make a move like this, you have the option of undercutting it. Also, when you're invading, it's nice to undercut, because when you undercut, you make eye space. So this is the correct way for white to invade, because he has the option of both undercutting, and he has the option of a one space extension. If he does this, the only option he has is going under right here, basically. He can't do this because it's touching, well, he could do it, but it's touching his opponent, so it's going to make him stronger, which white doesn't really want to do unless he has to. He basically has this option, and this option. None of which are really good ones, because this one leaves a weakness right here, which has a connection here and a connection here. So, or wait, yeah, it does. So, white should have invaded here, if black did something like this, white could go ahead and jump out. If black actually does something like this, then white can just jump out and he's fine. If black tries to close, white could either lean on the stone, or you can make one space extension. I think leaning on the stone first and then trying to make base here is better. Anyways, white would be pretty good. But he made this. So the correct move right here, generally the correct move all the time is to try to first get rid of your opponent's base. So to do that, black should have played here to get rid of any possibility of white playing here. Then white could jump out. But then black is solidified here. He has Sente. He can still attack this group later, or possibly even now. Maybe try to surround it this way or something. This would have been a much better way for black to play. Instead of black went over and capped him. I'm supposing he thinks he can try to kill him this way. I think black was trying to get a little bit too greedy here and try to completely swallow him up. Especially since black doesn't really have any development in the center, he doesn't really need a lot of stones in there. So he should just play solidly, get his points, make white run. But he played this way, and white made another strange move, which is this connection. Again, the move should have been here, because this connection, black has a very easy way of cutting him off. Now this stone is cut off. Now really the only option white has is this crosscut, which was the one white made, which is very nice. It's not a move you see a lot in Q players because they're kind of afraid of all the options. So right here, black basically has one option, maybe two. He can't Nobi because then white just goes over. If he Atari, goes over, and then cutting, white could just go under. Oh wait, sorry. You would Atari first, and then white would be alive. If you went under again, white could first connect. Black would have to go under, and then he could take it, or he could just plain take it. So let's see, where was I at? Wait, stone was here? Stone wasn't here. So black can't bump his head. Atari this way, again he's just going to have a ladder. Any type of Nobi this way. White can first Nobi this way, and then he's either going to net this or capture these stones. Just ignoring this stone and trying to Nobi one of these ways, white's just going to ladder this stone and be alive. So the only really, the best option for black right here is just Atari this way. This makes it so white is sealed in, and with very few points. So now, excuse me, if white Nobis, black has the option, it doesn't have the option of doing this, because then white can go ahead and cut first, and then white can, I think, do this, because I don't think black has a ladder anyways. Let's see. It's here, 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 here. So the ladder isn't worked that way. And it doesn't seem to work this way either. I think white might have this option. Oh wait. Actually, I think no, he can't. Sorry. Yeah, white has the ladder both ways. So he could do this and then just play right here after black connects. Anyways, black can't push right here. So, white has a cross cut. Only black, the best option for black is just to connect. White has something. And then white just uses the ladder. This way, this stone is dead. And black still has possibilities for ladder breakers later. And he also can connect to this stone under still. So it's very nice for black. Let me see. So, next move for black, he had the option of just simply connecting under, possibly playing elsewhere. He went ahead and took Sansa, which is fine. I think it's actually better than just connecting under, because if you do this move, you still have the option of connecting under afterwards. Then white went ahead and did this. Black played the normal variation. Here, considering black can still connect under this stone, I would just go over like this and let black connect to his stone, because black can still connect under anyways. But white went ahead and played this way. And white could do something like this now to prevent the connection. But right here he did something a little bit different. Excuse me. Where he played now, or actually, maybe I should go with this first. A lot of people think this move is Sente for white, and it's actually not. It looks like Sente because white seems to be closing him in and stuff, and in most cases it is because black doesn't want to be closed in. But in this case it's not, because white doing this, obviously black can just get out this way. And if white does this, then black's alive locally here. So this move isn't Sente for white, just in case you didn't know. So the next move for white was, like I said, a little bit strange. He tried to expand his Moyo again right here, which is very strange because it's quite defensive, because it doesn't do a lot for this area, especially since it's very small. And black has the option of undercutting right here. And I would say this left-hand side is much bigger than this little center right here, which is actually also what the pro said who was commenting on this game. Also, white has a Sente move right here, or black has to block, and then white could go ahead and make this move, and now he'd be gaining a lot in this area. He also has some development in this area also, so he could go ahead and make this move right here later, and white would gain a lot right here. Although it would still be kind of difficult for white to win, considering how much territory black has territory here, 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 and here. But it would be definitely a closer game. Anyways, I'm sorry. White played right here. Black went ahead and Tanuki'd, which was, he made a ladder breaker, which was, I thought, a very good move, because there's two options for black here. The reason I said this move was Sente was because of this. Right here, black has the Miya's situation of the ladder breaker and connecting under right here. So it's going to destroy all of white's points, and in Sente also, because white needs to respond to this or all these stones are going to die. This would be under attack, this stone would probably be back alive. So, or actually, if he Nobi'd out and then connected, he'd probably be okay in this area, but still, he kind of responds this because it's worth a lot. So white went ahead and prevented this ladder breaker, which was nice. Usually just capturing is not a good idea. If anything, something like this, or this or something, locally, but if you can make a move like this, it's good. Black went ahead and connected, and excuse me. And then white went ahead and right here, I think it would be best for white to go ahead and make the Sente move, and then maybe peep at black's shape right here or something to try to cut him. But he did this push, which again gets rid of the oddity of white later trying something in this area to try to cut him with a peep. Because now black disconnects, and now he has a very solid shape. White pushes again, black, and then white goes ahead and tries to develop something in this area. Black's getting a lot of points in what should have been white's area, and I would say the game's pretty close to over now. Then black simply just defended his territory right in here, and really the only thing white has at this point is these points and something in the center, a little bit up here. White went ahead and tried to expand again off of this, which I think this move might have been better, I'm not sure, but whatever, he went ahead and tried to expand this way. And black made this move, which was interesting because white needed to respond to it, and then black got to break into white's center. But I think it might have been better just to connect under at this point. I think it might be worth more, but I'm not sure. Anyways, so after this, white wanted to go ahead and defend his center, like I said, right here, and black went ahead and defended his territory on the right side while attacking this in here. So white defended, and then right here white tanuki'd, which was good because his tanuki was sente, this move. And then the move black made was a very big mistake. He no-bead right here. It's very easy just to block right here and black's automatically alive, but for some reason, not sure why, he made this move. This now gives the option for white to monkey jump, or sorry, right here. And now his territory is going to be gone, and so is his eye space. And I think the only way for black to live is by ko. I think, anyways. So this would be very bad for black. So white goes ahead and peeps at black's shape while defending black trying to cut right here. See, because you can connect to that stone right there. Black goes ahead and responds, but really these two stones don't matter as much as this. Especially, even if this wasn't going to die, this territory in here is worth more than these two stones. But he went ahead and responded. Black should have taken the opportunity to monkey jump, but he didn't. And then white went ahead, not seeing that he saw this monkey jump, he went ahead and started defending his center some more. And so black tried to knock it closed in. White wanted to make sure that there was nothing over here oddly with his stone. So then black went ahead and made sure he wasn't closed in. And now white went ahead and took the opportunity to do the monkey jump, which was very painful for black because from what I wrote out, the only way for black to live is by ko. As you can see in a bit, black got a little bit lucky there. Then black pushed right here. It's normal to cut from the outside. In this case, I don't think it works though. So he cuts. White could just Atari this way. And I don't think black has enough liberties to do this. At least from what I wrote out. But it's more normal to cut this way. But black pushed again to try to get out and reduce white's liberties. And then black cut. And then right here, white went ahead and cut again because if he doesn't, well, for one thing, black can go ahead and do this, so then he has the option of making an eye here or doing the ko. Excuse me. I don't think this works though, because this is a false eye right here, even if black makes the eye. So anyways, black went ahead and cut. Black went ahead and Atari'd. And then this move was very key for white. Or actually, yeah, I'm sorry. White did not connect. That's what I was saying, is white should have connected. What he did in the game was he went ahead and made the tiger's mouth to capture these 2 stones, so he got rid of some of this. Black went ahead and captured, and now he's completely alive and connected with all of his stones, and the game's definitely over now. Black has won. But white made this move. Probably still wouldn't have won, but it was definitely a closer chance, because now if black tries to Atari, white just connects, and then they get back into a ko, like so. White would take it, and then black trying to do this does not work, because the liberties are too short for black. I think anyways, black still has enough points, but this would definitely be very bad for black to lose all these stones. Anyways, mainly what I wanted to show you in this game is how, for one, when you have strength on one side, you don't want to try to make a base high, because then your opponent can undercut you. If you have the opportunity to undercut, might as well undercut right away. Don't overextend off. Even if you have a strong thing, it's not good to overextend, especially since this was strong over here for black, because then he could just invade. White probably should have done something like this. And if you had any questions or something, please leave a comment. If you liked it, please subscribe. And I will see you guys all later.